extreme heat has been so bad, it's beginning to hurt the economy. In fact, a BSP study found that for every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature, the country loses billions in productivity. Shyla Francisco has the details.
An old Filipino saying goes, kapag may tiyaga, may nilaga. But with the extreme heat in the country affecting many Filipinos, this is simply not enough to motivate them to keep working. Street vendors are opting not to continue operations because they couldn't stay long under the scorching sun. One of them is Lolo Guillermo, who decided to settle for a smaller income and to set up shop in one place.
Hindi ko kakayan, baka mamaya mag-collapse ako. Ako 71 years old naman, ngayon ko lang naranasan itong ganitong init. Katong nakaupo dyan, talaga napakamaalinsangan eh. Sobra. Malaki ang epekto sa negosyo, ma'am.
Vegetable vendor Rolando has a different problem. With this extreme heat, the vegetables he is selling are wilting faster than usual.
Pag mas mainit yung panahon, mas madali talagang malalanta yung gulay. Kaya luging-lugi talaga yung mga negosyo dito. Tulad po, yung kangkong namin sa loob, wala po. Halos, marami rin pong natira, nalanta lang po. Hindi po kinaya ng init. Hindi po kinaya ng kangkong yung init.
Hindi, yung matumal ba?
Sobrang tumal po.
The slow income being felt by these workers is also felt by the greater economy. A study by the BSP shows that every time the country's average temperature goes up by 1 degree Celsius, the economy grows more slowly by about 0.37 percentage points. With the Philippine economy valued at 24 trillion pesos, this translates to losses of almost 90 billion pesos for every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature. An economist warns higher losses can even be expected due to the El Nino.
Bababa yung economic activities. For comfort also, no? Kung sobrang init, di ba? So, hindi mo na lalabas yung ng tao. So, mapabawasan yung paggastos nila sa labas. Yung transportasyon, yung mga benta ng tindahan. Siyempre, kung kakain sila, no? Yung magmula sa mga small businesses, MSMEs, hanggang sa mga big businesses, mapabawasan yung benta.
RCBC Chief Economist Mike Ricafort said that slower productivity is possible in businesses affected by frequent brownouts or power interruptions. The most impacted by the extreme heat is agriculture, as the rising temperature damages crops and in turn affects the earning of farmers. With less crops harvested, there is also less supply of food available in the markets. Despite this, the Philippine Chamber of Commerce says businesses have not yet incurred significant losses. The group assures consumers that they are trying not to pass on the added production costs they incur.
We're just absorbing it because we are not certain how long this will last, no? But these are costs that I think the businessmen are willing to absorb in the meantime. I hope that it's not going to be very long term.
Shyla Francisco, WR1 News.
Nako, ayun na.
Mas malala pala yung effect.
Yes,
we actually understand and feel.
Yes, it's more than just feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
So it's not just because people are afraid to go out. The same BSP study actually found that, again, for every 1 degree Celsius increase in average yearly temperature, prices tend to rise too. And that's about the last thing we want to hear, right? And worse, that effect, the rising prices, can last up to 4 years. So let's take a look at the numbers. BSP said in the short term, we're seeing a slight increase on food prices, about 0.56%. Medium term, we're talking about 0.66%. Long term, it's more pronounced at 0.8%. The numbers may seem small, but remember as well that food items account for 35% of the Filipino consumer basket. So these numbers, when in aggregate, can come up to be, significant.
Temperature fluctuations actually affect crop production, especially palay and corn. And studies show that the output for these dropped for every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature. Alam natin yan with the El Nino upon us as well. There are also supply side issues. The same study found that hotter temperatures led to a decrease in the amount of work done at manufacturing sites and factories. Long term, we're looking at a drop of about 6.7%. Plus, outdated equipment, frequent power interruptions as well. And we've been seeing reports of that. For example, the grass fire, so-called grass fire
In the park.
in the Terminal 3, diba? Who knows what could have happened there? At plus yung sabi mo, yung deterioration of our power plants that's caused by the heat.
And also now, yun nga, according to the study, the manufacturing side, because of course it makes sense when you think about it, right? More people getting sick, or the outdated equipment conking out, they can't stand the heat. Tapos yung palay and corn, unfortunately for the president, the climate is not working in his favor in terms of his goal to get us to 25 pesos a kilo rice, right? Because palay is very sensitive to the heat. It's not like a crop like mango, which thrives when it's very
Correct.
hot, right? So all of these combined, that's what the economists are worried about, that may further push prices up.
The bad news is we'll have to, this is going to last for a couple more weeks to a month.
Yung peak pa is in
Yeah,
May,
so
right?
The good news is medyo sensitive naman yung government kasi walang pasok. Diba
On
sa
some-
ilang
on
schools,
classes,
right?
Oh, the other side of that is the parents aren't happy.
That's
Right.
that's correct. Pero
But
yun
I
nga, at
did
least
not.
there's an option
Yeah.
for students now to have blended learning, and we're kind of used to it with the pandemic setup.
Right.
So
right.
at least we've learned how to adapt.
Yes.
Right.
It's a balancing act.